Welcome to Direction Northeast. Hello, I'm Trey Adams. This program is a presentation of the Communications Department of Northeast State Community College. This episode of Direction Northeast is about guitar harmonies and acoustic music. We'll meet our guest and start our discussion following these messages.
Going to college was a big decision, but when I graduate from Northeast State, I know I can have a career.
Over half of our employees are graduates of Northeast State Community College.
When we see Northeast State on an application, we always give that candidate a second look.
Our company partners with Northeast State, knowing that their students graduate as trained professionals that become our employees both today and into the future.
Discover the career opportunities that await you. Northeast State Community College.
Our guests today are the self-proclaimed masters of low country groove. They also are the chief performers of what they call eclectic neo-soul and masters of NerdGroove. The Billies are Chrissy Santoni and Craig Smith from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Chrissy, Craig, welcome to Direction Northeast. Let's begin by asking the age-old question, how did the Billies form?
The Billies formed in, 13 years ago?
2006 in July.
2006 in July. We met through a friend and pretty much started playing music kind of like on the spot, right?
Yeah, you had a band, I joined your band, and then we decided at a certain point to go as a duo, and that was in July. I still remember that it was John and Peters in New Hope, Pennsylvania, and that was it, and we've been a duo ever since. And
So how did you come up with the name The Billies?
We came up with the name because I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan, and he had a song called, or has a song called Tripping Billies.
Mm-hmm.
So we just, liked the idea of being called just kind of adopted the name.
yeah, you like the song.
I just liked the
Dave
song
Matthews
and thought it was kind of like a fun name.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was there any other names that you thought of before you decided on the Billies?
We were Chrissy and Craig for a while, but something you just one day you're like, I'm not sure about that anymore.
we just wanted something that was a little more outside of just our name. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, have you two always played together, or have you had more people to play with in the past?
We started out initially trying to be a full band, but found out pretty quickly that it was difficult to keep that many people on the same page, and we together, Craig and I just work really well with one another. So it just kind of got boiled down to the two of us because it's easier to move around and travel.
And it's easier to book work as well. In this day and age, everything's kind of contracting, it feels like. So people are more apt to hire two people to play a show and throw them in a corner, or than a
More
5
work,
or 6, 7 piece band. So a smaller unit works really well nowadays. We can play in pretty much anywhere, go anywhere and play. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to start with Chrissy on this particular question. What drew you to playing music?
I can tell you, I remember the moment. I used to do dinner theater when I was younger, and I was in a show called Annie, Get Your Gun. And my brother in the show played guitar. And we had an event called the Post Show, which is basically a show that happens like after the regular show. Like you can like share what your skills are. I don't know, if you play guitar, you can do that too. Mm-hmm. And he got up and played, and I was just like, I just knew. I was like, that's what I want to do. So it never came super naturally to me, so I just carried around a guitar for years and years and years, and I couldn't focus long enough to learn how to play it, but I just held on to it and thought, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And literally, that's how it happened. Because I'm not like a prodigy or anything. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm so amazing. Like, listen to my voice, listen to me play. I just was like, this is just all I can do. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Now, Craig, did you have a similar experience? Did you have a similar experience to Chrissy in wanting to play music?
I remember just going around the house playing on Tupperware, which is like plastic storage containers and pots, and playing along to my parents' albums and stuff. And then I remember going to a music store and seeing. I'll never forget the day seeing a floor tom tom which is the the drum that sits on the legs, and just tapping on this thing with a white drum head and being like, oh, what is this? What is this thing? And just being like, whoa, And ever since then, it's been just loving drumming, and it just got me, and that's it,
Now, this question kind of ties into the last question. What has kept you all continuing to play music over the years? What's been the driving force behind you saying, this is the career that I want to stay with?
Oh my gosh, probably, it's never come too easy for us. I would say that Craig and I are kind of like, we never had like any super amazing luck as musicians or artists, but I don't know, just being able to do things like this and work with students and just meet people and play. We love playing so much, and then meeting people, and just because we really don't have anything else we'd like to do too much, as much as this. So that's, to be honest, just we need to eat, and this is a way we figured out to feed ourselves. And we love it too, but we just keep pushing, because no one's like, hey, Chrissy, you're amazing, let me help you out. That's never happened. So we just put one foot in front of the other, with what you're pursuing, just in this business, just putting one foot in front of the other. That's it. There's no magic behind it. That's simply how it works, right?
Yeah, I think we just love music. We just think about, speaking for myself, and I think we just think about music all the time, and just it's the one thing that just we feel all the time, and then combining it with the business part of it,
and songwriting too.
And songwriting, so you combine the songwriting with the playing, and just thinking about and listening to music all the time, and then doing it for a living, just ties everything. It's all one big thing, great thing. So it's like a love of it, I think, more than it just has us. I love it,
Now, I got to ask you a question about your instruments. What, your instruments, like you play guitar and you play drums, have you always enjoyed playing guitar and playing drums, or has there been other instruments in your life that you thought, I like this, and then decided this is what I'm going to stick with?
He's amazing at multiple instruments. Literally, it took me so long to learn how to play the guitar. I was like, this is it. This is all I can do. He can pick up any instrument. He's just really talented that way. You can play piano, you can play guitar, you can play bass, and he's really great with melody.
A little bit of a little of everything.
Like a one-man band.
Yeah, he's like that.
Yeah, just to tinker around on this, tinker on that, pick out a melody, or
I would just say he's more music. Honest to God though, he is really talented with music and melody and tempo and just hearing things. So he's just so he could probably do he's a drummer, he loves drums. But I'm actually a drummer trapped in a guitar player's body.
Yeah, luckily for me, because
I like drums too.
It's not I've played with people who are don't play so much, or give me dirty looks and stuff, and
I love beats.
And, yeah, Chrissy loves beats, rhythm,
But
so.
I can't keep it as steady as he can. But I guess the point is that your question is pretty much the guitar is the only thing I can do. I could probably do the bass, but the guitar, I don't know, I just love the guitar too. So it's just kind of stuck.
Have you ever wanted to play any other instruments before?
I wanted to learn piano, because as a songwriter, I love writing music, and I think the piano is such a great instrument to be able to hear all those sounds, but I have no focus to do that. It's just I just think you need a lot of focus, and I've just never tried. But I would love to learn how to play the piano.
So I would like to ask this question. I've been thinking about this for a couple minutes. Can you tell me the difference between low country groove and eclectic neo soul? Because those are two very interesting genres of music.
Okay. So here's the deal. Low country groove was kind of borrowed from our love of the South. I lived in Savannah. Craig lived in Florida for a bit. My family's, from North Carolina. But our musical style is like a gumbo kind, or at least we think it is. Or at least the music that we listen to is a variety of different music. So have you heard of the phrase called low country? Well, you've heard of low country boil, right?
Yes.
So it's just kind of like everything thrown into a pot. So that's where we kind of came up with Low Country Groove because it's kind of groovy, or like it has a groove to it. And then eclectic neo soul is like, it's like new soul, the idea of just like an eclectic new soul. And I think it's just because we love so many different styles of music. It's like, what do you call like what we do? It's just like pop music, but I guess everyone's trying to define what they do. And did I say that? Did I answer that well enough, or?
Yeah, like the Low Country, like Savannah area, and then that was a kind of a catchy phrase.
We just wanted to,
and
like,
that was a few years ago too.
Just separate ourselves from.
Just come up with a tagline or something, but you know, like.
At the end of the day, I think we write pop songs, just dressed up in different outfits, like, and we just like writing what we consider to be pop music, I guess.
Yeah, it's mostly like 3-minute songs with a hook,
Simple.
you know, or several hooks, or just real. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to convince us with like Mozart, you know what I mean? I mean, you're not going to confuse us with like Bach or Mozart. Like, wow, it sounds like, yeah. So it's like, it's real, like, as you can hear, it's like 3 minutes.
We're not recreating the wheel. We're just
Yeah.
we're just writing like simple pop.
That's about the extent of it.
songs.
Because when we were growing up, you know, on the radio, it was AM radio, it was all the hits, you know, and it was all hooks, and like just like get right to the hook and just like bam, one after another, you know, and that was what was, you know, playing in the background, whatever, you know. So that was, I guess, we came from that, the 70s, you know, hit radio, 70s, you know, and then like 3 minutes of like, you know, Fleetwood Mac or whoever, you know, like all these just really catchy songs that you feel like, man, I'm humming that, you know. I mean, I heard it 100 times today because they played it 100 times, but I can't stop humming it, you know. So that's where we come from, I think, you know, a lot.
So you all are on campus to teach the songwriting workshops. You know, what inspired you to begin teaching these workshops?
We received a request from a student government association president, to provide them with an opportunity, like an educational opportunity for students. And we had run the workshops at the YMCA. Like, we created them a few years before, and worked with little kids, and they loved it. And we just loved working with students in that way. And then when we did it with the SGA, they loved it. And we love writing songs in general, but then doing it with students that may not necessarily write or have written. It does not matter if you can write or sing. We like to show people that it's something that they can do. It's a simple process, and we just like to make it, we show them how fun it is, or we just try to encourage them to just enjoy the process, which they always do. And
it's real engaging.
It's engaging.
It's really fun and really engaging. Like, it's just everybody focus. Like, when people who are really interested, you know, into it, it's focus. You know, you can feel everybody throwing ideas around, and we have some laughs, and it's like, you know, and then great.
I also wanted to mention too that we do them. We host the songwriting workshop to explore topics like sexual assault awareness and diversity and inclusion. So we try to gear the workshops towards topics that are important on different campuses, so that they can create a musical outreach tool through the songwriting process, and just give it a little more value, and help create dialogue around important topics, really. So
That's really nice. And is the what you teach in the musical in the workshops, is that similar to how you write songs? Or is there a difference?
Honestly, I would say it's pretty similar, because we just try to keep it real natural, real light, real relevant to people's lives, like using the language or thoughts and ideas you would use in your everyday life, not try to be too, like...
Yeah, it starts with like a melody or something, like humming like a da 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 da, like, or, you know,
something simple,
like a melody, like something will pop in, you know, right, and you'll start strumming chords, and, you know, and then kind of like that.
Yeah, just like the songwriting process is pretty simple and pretty light for me. I don't labor over songs too much, so it's
start with the music usually, right? Start with the music, and then.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't really answer your question. Yeah, basically like start with the
music
idea
starts
of the
it,
music.
and then words
and
come
the melody
second.
just kind of like comes, and the lyrics aren't an afterthought, but a lot of times the lyrics for me are just kind of like vocal dressing, so they don't it's just the lyrics have to fit the shape of the sound.
Yeah, like the music dictates the lyrics, I think,
Yeah.
as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Have you ever tried to write a song starting with lyrics and then going to music, or has it always been getting a beat, getting some sort of instrumental, and then laying down the lyrics?
I think it's always been music first, I think,
Yeah.
or simultaneously maybe, but not like sitting and taking words and then putting music to those
Yeah.
words. I think it's always been either music first or music and words, or simultaneously.
Yeah, like music,
But
melody, then
music and
words.
melody, and then words. Yeah.
And this kind of ties in with the teaching workshops. How has playing at college campuses and teaching workshops influenced your life and career?
Oh my gosh, it's like been so amazing. Just what we hope, I think, when we do these workshops is to teach or just give the students something to really learn from, like encouraging them to, if they are musicians or whatever they're doing with their lives, to treat their own life as a small business, basically, or like what you're pursuing, and just being really proactive in what you're doing with your life. So don't wait on the idea is like, you need to do for yourself what you think someone else should be doing for you. Like create that environment around what you're doing. So whether it's music, whether it's sports, whether it's, I don't know, being a nurse, whatever it is that you do, make sure that you're responsible, like a small business from A to Z, because that's the only thing that's kept us doing what we do. Because maybe that big payday won't show up. And if it doesn't, don't wait for that payday before you decide that what you're doing is full time. Do you know what I mean? Like, make it full time now.
Definitely.
Make it something you're pursuing, whether or not the doors open for you, because they do not open for us. It's not part of our learning has been through just banging down doors. No one's ever rolled out the red carpet and been like, welcome into this palace of easiness. It's you have to hustle and create your own way. So that's sorry about that, but that's what we try to give to students, because that's what we know. And it's just encouraged us to, I don't know, we just love working with students, so. And we never knew we would, I never knew I'd love it so much.
Because you can find it's a concentration of people who
Wanna
love to write
learn.
or want to sing or want to, or have, go into this business or that business, or, the music business or publishing or writing. So it's like, where else can you find? I mean, it's a great environment, to come in and, it's, and do what we do, and it's.
But not all, but sometimes the students aren't in that field though too.
Exactly. So it's funny too, because it's an active way to draw. It touches on things that maybe, I guess.
I didn't mean
It touches on. It allows us to touch on things that you're not really allowed to do in everyday life. Going to work maybe, or driving down the street, or paying your bills. So it's a way to visit things that we don't necessarily have a chance to do. So we have 2-3 hours, whatever, in a room. We're going to write a song. So you can, it's a great opportunity, and then go back outside to the world and do what you do. But it's really different, and it's really fun to be able to step in from the world, come into this, the thing, do it, and then take it, go back, to the world and go do it, what we all do, It's just it's a lot of fun and very, I think, to do.
What advice would you give to up-and-coming artists about the music industry?
Learn how to pick up the phone and call people, or just pick up that phone, call people, and again, create your own way of doing things, and spend time every day doing it.
And we're I'm not even sure we're in the. Are we even the music industry as it's been known to be?
We're not even in
that
independent.
business.
We're so outside of what you would conceive of being the industry.
Get a record deal, get discovered, get a record deal, get an agent, and all that stuff. That's not even so. Which is great, because there are so many avenues to do what you love.
Yeah, create your own way of doing it.
I would say that the lesson here, there are so many avenues to do what you love. So don't think that getting signed to a major record label, that's just 1/100th of the option, and especially nowadays where record labels have just cut, the whole industry's been turned upside down by streaming, downloading, and stuff in the internet. So like there are so many avenues to do what you love to do. So you're not stuck to one, you know. So like our avenue is our own, you know, and we don't have a record label, we don't have an agent, you know, we don't have management company. We are independent. We are it, you know. So
Are you excited about the future of your lives with just doing everything?
Yeah, we hope that we're able to just, you know, I think our goal is just to be able to, like, I don't know, to continue to do this in a meaningful way and just be valuable to other people, you know, if they can learn a few things or they can teach us a few things, but just as long as we're providing something positive to the people that we, you know, can share music with, and that's what we hope for, you know, like just to keep playing and just being part of something that's positive, really.
Yeah, and just keep pushing.
Yeah.
And, you know, just keep trying to knock down doors. And I think that's really good. And I think you all have really been successful. You know, I don't consider bands necessarily in the music industry that have made millions to be the most successful. It's the passion that you burn. It's the passion that you put into your music. And I think that's really great. And I can really tell that you all enjoy what you do. And it's really awesome to see.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, and we'll be back in just a moment to wrap up Direction Northeast.
I came to Northeast State to become a nurse.
So did I.
Me too.
I came to study administrative professional technology.
Legal office.
Medical office.
I came back to school to be in business.
And I'm his wife, and I enrolled too.
Wherever you are and whenever you're going, we are here to get you there at Northeast State.
That concludes the program for today. We talked with the masters of NerdGroove, the champions of eclectic neo-soul. Chrissy Santoni and Craig Smith are the Billies. Community is very important to the students at Northeast State Community College, and this program takes a look at the few of the subjects they find important. Until we meet next time, on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty of Northeast State Community College, I'm Trey Adams, and this is Direction Northeast. We close with a chance to hear a song of the Billies.
Look at you, you pretty thing, all done up in that diamond ring. I guess you will, I guess you won't. It doesn't matter if you don't. Maybe he may, maybe he might. I don't think so, 'cause it's too uptight. You think you got everything and I don't. But you got nothing that I want. You could kick, you could scream, nobody's listening. You think you got everything, but you ain't got me.
don't you know it can drive you down, so you gotta go.
But you ain't got me.
Those folks, don't you know they can bring you down, so you gotta go.
But you ain't got me.
That town, don't you know that it drove me down, so I had to go. Those folks, don't you know, they drove me down. Yeah, yeah.
You think you got everything that I don't, and you got nothing that I want. You kick, you could scream, nobody's listening. You kick, you could scream, nobody's listening. You kick, you could scream, nobody's listening. You think you got everything. You think you got everything. You think you got everything. But you ain't got me. You pull